Legacy maker, are you going through an identity crisis in your career, business, or life, and you're not sure what to do? You want to quit or burn everything to the ground, but that's not realistic because you got bills to pay. But what you do know, especially with the pandemic these past couple of years, is that you just want to be happy. Well, this episode, we go through how to end or realign something. We go through some powerful reflective questions because we can't just Amazon Prime all the problems in your life. But what we can do is have those conscious conversations, ask those difficult questions. So, are you ready? Let's drop the beat. Hey, Legacy Maker, it's Elaine Luke Hardis, business and career coach for women of color and allies, and your host for the Call Your Dreams podcast. As a first-generation immigrant, I know how much pressure there is from our family and society to have a safe and secure life. But in the Call Your Dreams podcast, I'm here to challenge you to be your best self by creating a business and career that is sustainable, abundant, and enriching without playing by other people's rules. We'll have real talk on the deep inner work to create lasting transformation and the tactical strategies to create a profitable business and career. We both know you have a vision, roots you're proud of, and a legacy to create. Now it's time to do things your way on your own terms. So let's get started. Now grab your coffee, tea, and or boba, and let's call your dreams to create your legacy. Hey, Legacy Maker. My name's Elaine, and I am a serial quitter. I've been fired 2 times, quit 2 jobs before the age of 30. I'm now 34 years old, and as I reflect, I've actually had 3 different careers. I worked as a political organizer and fundraiser. Then I went into nonprofit fundraising. And now I'm a business and career coach for women of color and allies. And most recently, in my most downloaded podcast episode, in episode 9, why I ended my mastermind, I just announced why I was ending my former signature program, the Realign Legacy Mastermind, for beginning entrepreneurs. Now, you can say I have commitment problems. I don't think so. I am committed to me and my happiness, the right to be selfish. Why? Because my family sacrificed so much so I can have this life of choice. So I wanted to do this podcast episode after I shared why I quit my mastermind. And it's interesting to me as I reflect why I had such a huge response rate. Like it was downloaded 4 times more than any other podcast within the first 24 hours when I launched it. And I realized, oh, let me dig deeper. Let me talk about what people probably want to hear or just even get tips and advice on. I realized that all of you who are maybe listening might be going through an identity crisis. Maybe there is something you want to quit, a job. Maybe there's a program like I did where I ended it. Or maybe it doesn't have to be so far-fetched of you quitting, but you just want to realign your life, right? When you think about who you were when you're 5 years old, that kid that had so much excitement, you could accomplish whatever you want. And you miss that. You miss that person. And here's the thing for me personally. I don't want to regret anything in my life. I want to know that I tried something. Even if I didn't, quote unquote, become successful, it's kind of like back when I was a kid, I played basketball and I was okay at it, but I didn't try to be like the next Kobe Bryant because I just knew I didn't want to, and it didn't fulfill me and be happy, right? It's kind of like when I hope all of you have watched Turning Red, by the way. It just spoke to me in so many levels. But when you realize, oh, I'm doing what everyone else is telling me I should do, what people are telling me I'm great at, but not really following my heart. And it's not to anyone's fault. I'm not blaming my parents. I'm not blaming my friends or family. And I'm not necessarily blaming myself either. It's just it's part of growing up when you realize, oh, this is not what I want to do anymore, right? Maybe at one point in your life, it is something you want to do. I remember when it was actually the day I graduated from grad school. That's when I realized I wanted to start my own business after spending so much money going to grad school. I got a master's in leadership and management, and I hired my first business coach. Cost me $10,000, actually drained my savings. And what happened later that day when I went to go celebrate and drove my truck? And yes, I drove a truck at that time because real girls drive trucks. My car broke down right after I spent 10K. I mean, 10K easily could have been a down payment for a new car. My car eventually worked at that time. And then I drove to my parents' home, told my mom what I did, that I was so excited because I love my mom. I have such a great relationship with her. She's one of my best friends. And I told her, Mom, I got a coach. And she said to me, Elaine, you could have used that money to get a new Mercedes. And then I looked at her and she's like, oh, and I was crying. And my mom said, oh, you really want this? And I was crying back to her, I do. Because the day I die, I'm not going to be thinking about the Mercedes I could have bought. I'm going to regret not going after what I wanted, even if that meant I was going to fail. And sure, I am giving the example of me realizing I wanted to create this business. But for example, how many of you are so grateful for your exes? Like I am, because they've helped me uncover what I needed to heal and work on. And thank God for therapy, specifically EMDR therapy. By the way, I will do another episode on that, but EMDR therapy just changed and saved my life. As I reflect on all of the transitions I've made in my life, at the end of the day, and similar to you, I hope, I just worked on being the best version of myself. See, I work with a lot of clients, whether in their career or in their business, who feel like they want to quit, burn their whole business to the ground. The reality is that it's not necessarily taking a very reactive decision to do something. Instead, the question comes into like, how do we realign you? So, this episode's intention is for you to figure out how to realign yourself with powerful questions that you can ask. And you all know how I am with powerful questions. And like, really, is that it? Like, isn't there an app for something? I am going to challenge you. There is not always an app for everything to fix, right? Or this crazy system. There is something called your intuition, your internal GPS. You know, when you've made that decision, like you did something and then something went horrible about it, and you're like, oh, should have listened to my gut. That is what I'm talking about. We live in a crazy, fast paced society where it's like a hamster wheel, where we're constantly doing all the things the day to day. You know, you wake up, do what you have to do calls, hit the KPIs, the numbers, all that stuff, and the day with dinner, and then you do it all over again. But are you actually taking the time to pause, to reflect, to see what is aligned and not? So I want to ask you some reflective questions. And I suggest you schedule time to do this in a different environment that you don't go to every day, right? So not in your office, not at home, and maybe it's at a coffee shop, a park. Maybe you have a date with yourself. So get a pen and paper, or if you are driving, I hope you quickly look at the timestamp so you could reflect back and get these questions. But here's question one. What parts of your life are you happy with? Maybe you're happy with, oh my gosh, my health is great. My relationships are great. I'm happy with my family. And then, so what parts of your life are you happy with that you feel are aligned? Second question, what parts can improve? That's a hard one. And you'll know, listen to your gut, your intuition. I highly suggest not going on YouTube or going through Instagram, scrolling when you're answering that question. Write it pen to paper. Third question is the things that need improvement. If you started to improve on them, how can it change your life holistically? How can, for example, if it's a career you want to change or improve, or your business, how can that change financially, romantically, in your family? I just want to share with you we think we could silo our life, right? Like, here is one part of our life, but what you do in one part of your life is going to showcase to another. It's going to affect it emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, right? Abundance to me is having a holistic, abundant, and happy life. Now, the fourth question is what is one step you can do to start improving? One step. So, for example, maybe the thing you need to improve on is your career. Maybe you're really frustrated. And maybe one step you can do is go read a book. For example, one of the books I always recommend to my clients is Nice Girls Don't Get a Corner Office. So that's a book. Maybe you want to improve your business. And maybe the first step is talking to a friend that you saw that started a business or talking to a coach. Hey, it's me. Or another coach. It doesn't matter. But what is one step you can start doing? So often we think of a huge step, right? I mean, you don't see Olympic athletes like, oh my God, I have so much to do to win that gold medal. But they do know how their schedule looks like. Okay. And I'm making this up, by the way, just hypothetically. Maybe Monday is rest day. Tuesday, it's yoga and stretch. Wednesday, it is weightlifting, right? They know the small steps they need to do to win the gold medal, right? They're preparing on what they need to do to get through that finish line. As I reflect on all the transitions I've made in my life, the thing that has helped me the most was being courageous enough to ask for help. Like I said earlier, maybe it's health that you want to improve on. I remember I had that before when I wanted to just be more healthier, and I'm not just saying like have these sexy abs, but just having more energy. And I just started talking to friends who I knew had a healthy lifestyle. Or maybe the second thing was like learning how to ask for a career raise. And I remember actually that's how I hired my first coach. I didn't know who to ask for help with. I asked my parents, how do you ask for a raise? But they answered as any immigrants would, you work hard, they're going to give you the raise. And I just knew that wasn't going to happen. Or third, maybe it's a business pivot and you need help, right? And asking how other people have done it. Here's what I want you to hear. Don't be scared to ask for help. Even in the smallest things, it's just interesting. Like I have talked to a couple of my clients where they're frustrated with their partner, like, oh, he's not helping me with this or that. I'm like, did you ask him? Did you ask him to put the trash away? Did you ask him that you didn't want to cook because you had so much to do? No, it was just assumed. Like, well, go have a conversation, ask for help. Also, I want to kind of talk about this notion, and I think Hollywood unfortunately does this, where, okay, you hate your job, you have to leave, or you don't like how your business is, so everything needs to change. You don't need to change it right away. You don't need to emotionally react. But what you can do is strategically react. And by strategically reacting, you could answer the questions that I asked earlier, and you could figure out what are baby steps you can do, right? You know, for my mothers out there, for anyone that has been exposed to kids, what I'm going to assume is all of you, because we are all humans. A baby doesn't go from like crawling to running overnight. It takes a while, just like as it should. When you realize there's something you want to readjust in your career or business or life. So, as much as we want to Amazon Prime everything in our life, it takes a while. And sometimes you need to go through those experiences to learn and grow from it. Our life shouldn't be summer all the time. There's a reason why Mother Nature, why our wonderful planet has seasons. There's spring, summer, fall, and winter. We get to appreciate all of it. I felt like I was kind of in winter going to spring right now. Actually, I feel like, yeah, I'm literally following as I'm recording right now, the season, because I felt like I need to really reflect on this, see what I like and don't like in my business, see when I need to adapt and adjust. I took my time, I took intention in deciding, okay, this is where I want to focus on. And I realized I want to focus on working with established coaches and consultants, which is why my signature program is the My Color Dreams Inner Circle program. And if there's any beginning entrepreneurs or anyone that wants to work with me when it comes to executive career coaching, they're working with me one to one, but I only have a limited spots to work with me one to one. That decision, I knew that's what I wanted, but it wasn't like I did it overnight and it happened. It took a while for me to make kind of small incremental changes for that to happen, for you to hear and see how I've implemented that into my own business. And I really want to emphasize how important it is to take a pause and reflect on this. And also, I know we're talking about where you're at right now, but I also want to talk about where do you want your life 5 years from now? Everything in your life. I actually have a powerful meditation. It's a 3-minute meditation. It brings you from your 5-year-old self to the life you have now, to the life you want 5 years from now. You could go to elainelu.com/meditation and download it. And just brings you back to your why and what your vision and mission is in life. And I know I'm giving you guys so many exercises, but they're not like physical exercises. They're really great realignment exercises, especially if you're going through an identity crisis. I meet clients who get really also frustrated where, oh, if only I quit my job sooner, if only I started my business sooner. I want to challenge you. What if you need to go through all of those experiences so that you could be exactly where you're at to be the best version of yourself? So list out all of the experiences you've had prior to where you're at right now, whether in your career and your business and your life, and how that's helped you quit your career or business now. For example, when I think about how I was a former grassroots organizer, I literally did 300 calls a day, knocked on 30 doors an hour. That experience, that helped me understand how to build relationships. When I was a nonprofit fundraiser and I raised $1 million in student scholarships in 6 months, that helped me understand the power of connecting. Like it took me to a different level with relationships and helped me understand why matching someone's mission to a nonprofit was important. And that's how I've built my coaching business. I just actually came from a VIP day with an inner circle client, and we celebrated. It's as I'm recording this, it's now the beginning of Q2 2022, but she ended Q1 with $51,000 in revenue. She's expected to come out with 200K minimum if she doesn't do anything else. But I'm like, no, you could hit easy 300, 500K within the year, which is insane to me. And I'm just so proud. But I look at my past experiences. I'm like, that's what's made me a very successful business coach. And I do feel like I know I am a successful business coach because of my client results and their satisfaction. And a side note, I get very frustrated when I go online and I've seen quotes, all you need is Wi-Fi to be a successful business owner. No, excuse me. It's not Wi-Fi. You actually have to be good at what you do. You can have Wi-Fi, have a business, but if you have a horrible product or service, you're not going to have a great business for that long. Think about it. Amazon, Yelp, Airbnb, the products and the places they have on those sites, they're dependent on reviews. So I'm just saying, but my business coaching is a mirror and reflection of my past career. And I'm grateful. I started my business when I was 29. I'm very grateful I did because I had that experience. When I think about even looking at my other career, like my experience working full time is I quit two jobs. I was fired twice. I learned how to ask for a raise, did a career transition. By going through those experiences, it's helped me become such a successful career coach to my clients who are women of color going through those experiences. So I want you to take a time and list all of the experiences you've gone through, both good and bad, professionally and personally, and how that's actually helped you to where you're at and where you want to go. So you might be asking, Elaine, when do I quit? It's actually a trick question. The real question is, what are you going to start doing to realign yourself to be happy? What are the baby steps you can do? Who are friends that have created that change where you can ask for stories and tips? Or do you want to go get professional help? Maybe there's something you need. Maybe it's something mentally and emotionally. I don't I don't think I've shared this in my podcast yet, but I have two therapists. I have one I talk to when I just need to talk and need someone to listen to. And then if it's like real deep trauma, I go to my EMDR therapist. I'm saying EMDR therapy has changed my life, like I said. So what are steps you can do to be courageous enough to ask for help? Or maybe you don't want to change anything in your life because you are happy. And if that's the case, that is amazing. But if you're in a place where there are things you want to improve in certain parts of your life, here's what I want to share. Look, I know money's infinite, right? We can make as much money as we want. We could also lose money. But the one thing that's not infinite is time. Time is finite. It is short. We can't make up the time that we've lost. Like I am choosing right now to record this podcast episode. I'm actually recording this at 9:01 p.m. I could be getting ready for bed, but you know what? Doing this podcast brings me joy. About a year ago, I used to do free monthly workshops. At one time, it brought me joy. But what I realized is I wanted to be more intimate, just like I am with my own clients. And I was like, what can I do? What is a resource I can do to give back to my community? That's similar to what I'm doing with my clients, but not taking up too much time and energy, where I can really teach and share my thoughts, where it's not just, surface level. I'm like, podcasting. And honestly, even with my social media, like I had to reflect, it's not as deep as I want to go to. I feel like it's like the popular group in high school. Like I want to share more things deeply. I want to do a podcast. So I just want to let you know I'm doing this podcast because it's what I am doing to realign myself. And it brings me so much joy. And I want to enjoy every single second of my life and not regret any time. And like I said in this episode and other episodes, I have generations before me who sacrificed so much so I can have a life of choice. So I can be selfish. And I do not take that for granted. So let's end this episode with a color your dreams reflection. How do you want to feel by the end of the year? What's that word that describes it? Is it relief, maybe? Joy? Peace? By the way, you do not have to use these words. I'm just giving you examples. So, whatever feeling you want to feel. So, for example, if it's joy, let that feeling be your guiding light. For example, if you're making a decision to invest in something to create a change, are you feeling joy about making that decision, or does it feel negative? Our bodies can share so much answers for us. And now it's creating your legacy action. So, what is one action you can take? Who is one person you can ask for help or get feedback? Who's that one friend that probably has gone through what you are currently going through. And the reason why I want you to actually talk to a friend is because as social human beings, on top of majoring in psychology when I went to college, I'm also a sociology. I also got my sociology degree. But we can be so motivated as social human beings and encouraged when we hear other people's stories. So I know this episode is a lot of reflections, pausing, but that's what we need to do if we want to live a life full of abundance and create a legacy for future generations. So, Legacy Maker, if you're feeling everything I just talked about and you're going through an identity crisis in your business and you need accountability to living your true self versus being a prisoner of your own success, then I want you to apply to my Call Your Dreams Inner Circle, a 12-month one-to-one and group coaching program for coaches and consultants with in-person and virtual calls. You also get 2 in-person retreats. So just apply by going to elainelu.com/inner circle. Because here's the thing, Legacy Maker, I want you to stop choosing between what works over what you really want. And I'm here to support you in the process of releasing what you've built up to now to something that is more aligned with you. So go to elainelu.com/inner circle to apply. Legacy Maker, you just finished another episode of the Call Your Dreams podcast. Be sure to take another 5 minutes and reflect with my acronym TAG. What were your biggest takeaways, your actions, and your gratitudes? Want more of me and my team? If you're curious about working with us, go to my website at elainelu.com/call to schedule a call with me. During this 30-minute complimentary Get It Done call, I'll provide you 3 action items towards your goals. And if we're not a good fit, I'll refer you to other people and resources because integrity is my #1 value. All right, Legacy Maker, I'll see you next Thursday for our newest episode. Remember to call your dreams to create your legacy.